Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing, might not be abundantly clear exactly what we're discussing other than cannabis policy here in Thailand. So for those who are unaware, it's been a very interesting year with regard to cannabis policy here in Thailand. Most notably, back in June, major changes to the list of narcotics here in Thailand, and there's been a lot of attempted legislation. I think it's interesting because I think there's a lot of misnomers going on here. Now, we're going to discuss we're going to kind of glaze over politics, which is not something I really love doing on this channel, but it does have legal implications, and this has been such a major news item, especially, it seems to be especially concerning to certain foreigners out there that are looking to come to Thailand, because they kind of just want to know, they want to know what's going on. They want to, and they're worried. They don't want to run afoul of Thai law, and that's good. I think that's a good sentiment to have. Understand, as of the time of this video, nothing's really changed from the past few weeks. There's just been a lot of sort of, I don't know how you'd call it, kind of political machinations going on, but it's enough that it's kind of percolated up into the major media outlets, which brings me to this, the reason I thought of making this video, which comes from Thai PBS World, thaipbsworld.com. Article is titled, "Opposition Will Ask EC to Dissolve Boomjai Thai Party Over Its Liberal Cannabis Policy," which has, this whole thing it's starting to feel like Alice in Wonderland around here. So, quoting directly, opposition parties plan to ask Thailand's election commission to dissolve the Boomjai Thai Party for alleged violation of the Political Parties Act over its policy to decriminalize cannabis. Now, just as an aside, this is me talking here. I think there's been a lot of misconceptions out there about the difference between decriminalization, legalization, etc. Now, to be clear, and we'll get to this in a moment, but yeah, cannabis was taken off, and I'll just quote it here, Category 5 list of drugs by the Ministry of Public Health back in June, and as a result, you can call that decriminalization, and in a sense it truly is, but for those who come from a common law background, and that's probably the vast majority of people who watch this channel, decriminalization in a common law context is a slightly different thing. It's maybe nuanced, this may be a semantic point, but as my understanding, and again, as an outside observer, albeit one, as a background in jurisprudence, but as an outside observer and somebody who's, basically analyzed comparative law for years, there's a slight difference in nuance between the notion of decriminalization in a civil law context and just legalization. What I mean to say is, in the civil law, unless you have a codified law that says something is illegal, it's de facto legal. The default is legal. This is very different than the common law, where the common law has this kind of nebulous, almost ethereal sort of cloud, if you will, of the common law, which is this collection of judicial opinions which operate as if they were law. These opinions become law in the sense of in a practical sense, they become law. And you see this in practice as a lawyer. You'll see it if you have to deal with it in a court case. But that's very different than the civil law. So in a common law system, in many ways, it's actually got kind of more ongoing restrictions, perhaps, on people in that jurisdiction, because you have this kind of floating body of law that's out there that's separate and apart from statutory law that's been created by a legislature. In the civil law, and I'm not going to claim to be an expert in Thai law, I'm not a Thai attorney, I've made that very clear many, many times. I'm an American attorney, I have Thai nationality, I'm the managing director of the firm here, not a Thai attorney, but I've discussed this with them, and it's nuanced. This is nebulous, so don't take this as the end-all be-all on this topic, if you will. But what's worth pointing out is, in a civil law system, if something is not illegal, if something is not explicitly, as we've stated in other videos, especially on the mask mandate, if something is not codified as illegal, the default position is it's just legal. And we've discussed this in other videos. I think we quoted an article where the police were talking about this here in Thailand, where they said, hey, there's no law out there. There's nothing for us to do from an enforcement standpoint. Now, again, this kind of nebulous difference between decriminalized and legalized, I don't want to go too much further down that road, but I hope folks in a common law context understand there's a slightly nuanced difference between the way we look at the notion of decriminalized and legalized versus kind of in a civil law context, how that actually operates. In any event, quoting further, and this part I thought was kind of funny. I don't know why, but I just did. Not the subject matter, but just I'll explain in a moment. Quoting directly, opposition leader Chonlanan Srikal said on Monday that the Boomjai Thai Party's flagship policy was designed to curry favor among the people for political gain, which is against the law, citing Section 92 of the Organic Law regarding political parties. I just want to state that again. Opposition leader Chonlanan Srikal said on Monday that the Boomjai Thai Party's flagship policy was designed to curry favor among the people for political gain, which is against the law. Now, he may be right, but I just think that's interesting. I always thought that's literally all politicians did was, quote, curry favor among the people for political gain. That's always kind of seemed like what they all did. But again, you know, in many ways I'm an outsider with respect to some of this stuff. So leaving that aside, and quoting further, and I think this is more to the point, the Ministry of Public Health issued a ministerial edict to remove cannabis and hemp from Category 5 list of drugs effective June 9th. So that's done. That's happened. They're removed from Category 5 list of drugs. Now, as we've noted in other videos, they're covered under a different act. I believe it's the Thai Herbal, I think, Remedy Act. I'm saying that off the top of my head. I think that's wrong. It's something to do with the Thai Herbal something act. Excuse me for blanking on that. I probably should have put a note down as to that. But long story short is, yeah, it is sitting in a bit of a nebulous position, but what we do know is it's off Category 5. And as the police mentioned in video, as we cited in a video prior, you know, they're not really looking to enforce anything with regard to this. As we noted in another video, you know, dealing with this in public can cause a nuisance violation to come up, and that has criminal implications. So those that are interested in this understand, you know, outdoor activity, outdoor usage, presumably in any form, could end up being, you know, a nuisance violation. So again, this was promulgated under kind of a medicinal notion. Now that said, the way that it's evolving, you know, it seems to be evolving toward kind of a much more open market, a much more open social paradigm with respect to this overall thing. But that said, there seems to be, you know, there continues to be some controversy surrounding this. Long story short, as it sits as a practical matter, you know, as we said in another video, the dude abides, keep it inside. That seems to be kind of the prevailing logic of the day. That is not exhaustive legal advice by any stretch of the imagination, but that seems to be kind of the best rule of thumb, which is, you know, if using this stuff or applying this to oneself is something one wishes to do, the privacy of one's own home is the best place to do it.